Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rongan's podcast. I'm Dinesh Sagi, joined by Amar. Hey, Amar,
Hello, how are you?
good, thank you.
Good. Yeah, all right. We're still missing Punk.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah. We're sort of struggling in terms of our stats and stuff without not having a punk for such an important podcast today. Obviously, the big game that concluded uh, probably a couple of hours ago between England and Australia. So, yeah.
I'm just worried that he's having more fun, out there than we are having here. So maybe that will change after tomorrow. Maybe India-Pakistan
Let's
match
hope
will
he's
be.
having a lot more fun than us rather
Yeah,
than him
yeah,
occupied with some day-to-day stuff and not being able to have as much fun as we're hoping he is. You never know.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll hear more when he's back.
Yep, I haven't seen any updates on his socials, so I'm under the impression the wedding's now concluded, so he's back with family somewhere, probably chilling. But yeah, hope to hear back from Punk very soon. If not, we might have to send someone for the lookout.
Might have to.
Yes. Anyway, bringing things back to the Champions Trophy. Obviously, the games concluded already. Groups sort of opening up, and today's obviously in a game is in Group B between the so-called arch rivals of England and Australia. Before we get into the details, a question that came up on back of the recent India tour of Australia, and there's a lot of chat around this. Let me ask your opinion. Do you still believe England Australia is bigger rivalry than India Pakistan, or sorry, India Australia?
See, what I think is these things keep changing whenever the tour comes up. Whenever India Pakistan are playing, it becomes the biggest rivalry. Whenever Australia England are playing in Ashes, that
Mhm.
becomes the biggest rivalry. And or when we went to Australia playing BGT, that becomes the biggest rivalry. So I think these are media created hypes so
Mhm.
that they sell more viewership and more papers. But for us fans, we like to see every contest. Every contest when that is happening is big for us. So we want them to play. We want them to score big runs, take more wickets. So we have fun watching all of them.
No, absolutely not denying that, right? But the reason I asked that is obviously, there's a lot of history. India, Pakistan, you can never take that away. I was
Yeah.
more referring to India, Australia, and then England, Australia, because India, Pakistan is not just about cricket anymore. Right? It hasn't been, to be honest. There's more to it. Something we probably address in our upcoming podcasts. But then, England, Australia goes a long way back in history. Obviously, the Ashes and everything that happened with Ashes, and obviously, sort of, built up over the years. And then when Ashes happens, and personally for me, and you probably agree with me on this as well, a lot of English fans living in the UK, their prime focus has always been football, obviously Premier League and everything that happens with football. But the only time I see some of these fans really focusing on cricket as well is when Ashes is around, or if India tours England. These are the two instances where I've really seen the fans getting involved.
Yeah, exactly. And for Indian fans as well. I mean, when India toured Australia, a couple of months ago, and everything was going intense, and all the fans were like, "Oh yeah, we love this BGT. It might be bigger than India Pakistan as well." Ask them today when the evening before the India Pakistan match. Today they will say that India Pakistan is the biggest. So it's all about the intensity, the how they feel. I think they feel the same in both matchups.
Mhm.
So I don't see that one is the bigger than the other. They have they each one of them have kind of each place of their own. Of course, we don't play test against um,
Pakistan.
Pakistan,
Mhm.
so this is the only time we are playing them. So that's why it has a different place in T20s and ODIs. for BGT, it's the test match, and we know that we can't get um, that fun, or we won't see that anywhere else. So that is also great for us and has a different place.
Absolutely, and hopefully, some of our viewers can comment as well in terms of what they think about the different rivalries. But yes, England Australia, there's always drama, right? And obviously, as the game unfolded today, Group B, big game. Obviously, from a England standpoint, they just played like a 3 game series against India, where they lost 3-0. And then from Australia standpoint, obviously, they played a couple of games as well against Bangladesh. But then for them, the biggest challenge was obviously, in fact, not Bangladesh, it was against Sri Lanka post the test games. But for them, the biggest challenge was, some of their, premium fast bowlers, the likes of Stark, Cummins, and then Hazelwood, being ruled out for various reasons. So they didn't have obviously the skipper in the playing 11 today, and then obviously a couple of their premium fast bowlers weren't part of the squad either. So all of a sudden, this sort of put a lot of pressure on the Australian team, and a lot of chat around like Australia not being serious about Champions Trophy, or maybe the bowlers, are sort of saving themselves for like the upcoming BGT final, sorry, the WTC final, or maybe the Ashes in the summer. So there's a lot of chat around it. Your thoughts on like the Australian squad, in terms of all the news that's going around and about them not seriously considering Champions Trophy.
Um, well, I can't say for sure that they are not serious, but one thing is there that they are missing the well established names.
Hmm.
And if you look at the media, there is a kind of whenever when you read something either on the in the digital media or the print media, they'll be talking about this team as a makeshift team because the well established players are absent.
Hmm.
But even the previews of any say podcast or pre-match analysis, when you see them speaking, the experts,
Hmm.
the old or the previous players, or even journalists on these analysis shows, they will say that these their well established names are missing. And they on paper they might look weak, and other teams might take an advantage of this situation here. But everyone will say one thing, and I've heard that saying, them say this, that you never discount Australia in an ICC event. So even though the established names are not there, the maybe some new players coming up, and the other teams might be thinking of taking advantage. But don't make mistake of thinking that any team, or thinking that it will be an easy win against them. And that's what we saw today as well. So I don't think, and this proves that you can never discount them, whoever plays. At this point, I'm thinking that yeah, any non-cricketer playing as in the Australian team will also give you a good performance.
Yep, 100% agree, right? And obviously, you made that very important point about never discount Australia, and essentially what we've seen today. Just a quick summary: Australia won the toss, chose to bowl, and obviously a lot of thoughts around it in terms of why would Australia want to bowl on such a flat track. But then Smith had his reasons. He expected there's going to be some dew towards the end of the innings, so he wanted to chase. But yeah, England 351 for 8 in 50 overs. Obviously, Ben Duckett with his 165, who's sort of like anchored the innings all along, and then an useful contribution from Joe Root. Time and again, Joe Root does this. Like he just shows up and just probably makes batting look so easy, as if like he's still playing in his backyard, sort of thing. Like 68 of 78 deliveries, and then some useful contributions down the order from Josh Butler 23, Livingston 14, and Jeffrey Archer most importantly 21 of just 10 deliveries, 2 4s and a 6 that helped them post a 350. From an Australia standpoint, again, given the current squad and obviously all the chat around it, and obviously the England bowling attack, they won the favourites to win the game. But then obviously, like you said, you never discount Australians, and they managed to actually chase the target in 47.3 overs, 356 for 5. Uh, some very important contributions. Obviously, Matthew Short at the top of the order, 63, opening alongside Travis Head. Steve Smith walked in at number 3, who is the skipper for today's game, hasn't really contributed. Labuschagne, a very important 47. And the most importantly, the star of today, Josh Inglis, 120 of 86 deliveries, 8 fours and 6 sixes. And then a couple of contributions again. Alex Carey, he's someone like just probably goes under the radar. We've seen him at the BGT as well. Walks in quiet, does his job, walks away, and then there's like a 50 or a 70 on the scoreboard. The time he spent at the crease, that always happens with Alex Carey. And then surprising to see Glenn Maxwell walk in so lower down the order, but I think again they've sort of played for the situation. If they need maybe 10 and over in the last 10 or 12 overs, I thought maybe they wanted a Maxwell to be around. But yeah, whenever he showed up, he obviously contributed with the 32 or 15 deliveries at a 213 strike rate. But yeah, all in all, hard day for the bowlers. Very good day for the batsmen. But maybe let's start with England's batting, and most importantly, Ben Duckett, 165, his third century, his first against Australia, and obviously in a big tournament to sort of open with that sort of innings is massive.
It is massive, and we have seen that England are, taking Phil Salt and Ben Duckett as their long-term openers. We have seen that in matches against India in the previous tour to India, from where they are coming here, and of course, in Ben Duckett, we did see that he scored towards the end. He did score some runs there, and he's following up from that form. Phil Salt, he couldn't score much in this one, but at least he should be assured that okay, this he can play his shots, and if he gets going, then there's nothing nothing to stop him there, and he will always give you that quick fire 30-50. But in ODI setup, you need more than that from one of your openers. And Ben Duckett was the guy who provided that big score, big standing in this match. Of course, Brendan McCullum has been his big supporter. He likes him really to open in all the formats, and rightly so. His trust has been been rewarded by Ben Duckett, and you can see that he scored 165. And what a beautiful innings he played when his partner got out, and then Jamie Smith also got out. But then he built a really good partnership with Joe Root, and which kind of complemented, these two complemented each other. Joe Root, as a legend player he is, he rotates the strike very well. And one notable thing about these two are that they are very good players of spin. So they are not troubled by that. And this pitch was a batting wicket. So I mean, even though Australian bowlers, they kind of try to the fast attack, they are missing. Even the fast bowlers like Stark and Cummins are missing. They are bowlers who can kind of bowl and give a good fight. But we saw Ben Duckett and Joe Root, they maneuvered the ball really well, picked up the gaps really well. And we saw Ben Duckett attacking Rashid Khan as well in this one. Zampa. Sorry, yeah, Zampa in this one. So, very good stand. Joe Root as well contributed. He's like he's like a locker in a bank. You always trust on him. Goes about his business really easily. Never looked trouble. And in this age as well, he's going stronger and stronger. So. Always Joe Root, whenever he plays, we kind of trust him to score these runs. Again, Harry Brook, he's still not back into form, falling from India's bad form there. So, I mean, he will have to do something about that. I don't know what's happening with him. McCullum and Josh Butler have to speak to him. Liam Livingstone, I thought was a big disappointment, because when Ben Duckett and Joe Root were going, it looked like that at one point that England will easily score 400. But once Joe Root was out and Harry Brook uh, got out as well, it was Liam Livingston and Ben Duckett's uh, opportunity to take it to 400. And Ben Duckett was still playing those shots in those middle overs even, but it looked like Liam Livingston was, he was, maybe he was not. I don't know. Maybe that intent was not there, because I don't see any problems with his ability to hit the ball out of the park. He has done that many times in the 100 series and other T20 games. But in this match, there was that platform already set by Ben and Joe, but it looked like even in this match, Liam Livingston couldn't score much, and in a way, he kind of slowed down the run rate as well. So I would say England could have scored around 380, but Liam Livingston is to be blamed for this, this lower score than expected. If it was not for Jofra Archer, who came in and hit 2 6s and 1 6 and 2 4s, he scored 21 out of 10 balls. England could have finished even lower than this. So,
Yeah.
and by the way these guys were going, I mean, 351 when they made it really never looked enough because of the pitch. So Australia knew that 351, if they play decent enough cricket while batting, they will be able to get 351. So I mean, yeah, the couple of players, I mean, England reached 351. There were good performances, but also they have to look at Harry Brook and Liam Livingston, to contribute with the bat.
No, absolutely right. And obviously, Ben Duckett, like I pointed out earlier, and what you just said, like important innings. He sort of stayed, for the entire 50 overs and sort of build the innings from one end. Harry Brook, yeah, not sure what's going on there. I'm just kind of looking at like an Adam Zampa, just keen to see who does he play for in the IPL. He doesn't play for KKR, but he does play for the LA Knight Riders, the Los Angeles Knight Riders. So I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's in one of those WhatsApp groups where Varun Chakravarti must have given some insight.
Could be.
But at the same time, credit. I think somewhere I want to point this out. Alex Carey, I mentioned about his batting ability, but for him to stay on the field today and not necessarily behind the stumps, he took some blinders. The first one, obviously, to stop Phil Salt, like you pointed
Yeah.
out, right? If Salt stayed on for 15, 20 overs, it could be massive for England. So obviously, taking that catch, and most importantly, Harry Brooks catch, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Both of them, no one expected them to actually carry. But Alex Carey had other plans, and
Yeah,
he
exactly.
managed to catch hold of both of those. Livingston, yes, personally, I know, like you pointed out, he has the ability, but I don't think he's like touch and go. One day he probably scores you those runs, and the next 10 games, you probably don't see anything from him. And also, one of the things I've always noticed with him, he's really good when it's towards mid wicket and anything like in a square. But his offside game has always been a challenge. I think the bowler's starting to figure that out now, and they're starting to sort of target that outside the off stump sort of a line for him, and maybe that's where he's really not able to counter. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
one
should have
thing, I mean,
contributed.
yeah, I mean, if he should look at anyone, he should look at Glenn Maxwell. I mean, he's a similar kind of position, similar kind of a player like him. But of course, he hits Maxwell hits around the wicket, and he looks. The best thing about Maxwell is he looks to hit every single ball, and
Yeah,
at that position, more often than not, I mean, if you are a good batsman and if you have played at a good level, and if you're trying to hit balls out of the park, more often than not, you are playing good shots. You're not just throwing your bat.
yeah,
So he should, and the surprising thing is we have seen Livingston do that previously, but whenever it comes to he's wearing his England shirt, I don't know what happens to him.
hmm
So if anything, I think he should take Maxwell approach. He should keep a close eye on what he's doing, how he is doing, and learn from that really.
yeah. Probably bring in some scoops and reverse sweeps and stuff, what Maxi does, and that'll probably help his game as well. But yeah, not a lot from bowlers. Obviously, Ben Guarez at the top of the order, like he managed to pick 3 wickets, and he sort of gave that impetus for Australia. And then Adam Zampa, he was brilliant in the middle innings. 10 over 64 for 2 wickets, and then Labuschagne with his leg spinners managed to get 2 wickets for 41. Quickly, obviously from Australia's standpoint, like we said, 350 is still like mentally, it's a target that you have to get, and you have to play well to obviously be there. Unfortunately for them, India's nemesis, potentially, not for England. But they managed to get Travis Head early on, and then Steve Smith walked in at number one. He hasn't really contributed, but the partnership between Matthew Short and Labuschagne, that's like a 100-run partnership. Really, set the tone for Australia and the chase.
Yeah, it did. And up the order, Matthew Short, he scored 63 of 66. He gave a good start to the chase, and he had nine boundaries and 1 6 as well. So you could see that he was, he kind of opened up early on, even though Mark Wood and Jofra Archer were really, they were not giving loose balls most of the time, but these batsmen, know how to use the pace. So they were using his pace as well, and the wicket was not moving. And I don't think either Mark Wood or Jofra Archer are like swing kind of bowlers. So they stayed upright the wicket, and he kind of played his shots. And what a brilliant catch from Jofra of his own bowling to remove Travis Head. These are really not easy catches when you bowl so fast, and then suddenly ball comes towards you. It's a big surprise, but yeah, he was able to hold the ball and take Travis's wicket. Otherwise, that could have been this match would have been over much earlier than it did. Stephen Smith again. In this game he fell, but not making any mistake. Next game he will come back. He's a fighter. He comes back every single time. You cannot discount him. But he was just unlucky in this game. Manus, he stood up. In this game. He scored 47 of 54. Again, whenever he bats, it looks like he wants to make runs for Australia, and that is one of the things. Like, he knew that they haven't got a good start in terms of Travis Head, but he had to bat with Matthew Short and make sure that they get to the target. Slowly but steadily, and later on Josh Inglis came, and what a brilliant 120 runs he made. And what a story. He used to play in England and went to Australia, and then now he has scored 120 against them at a very important match in a ICC event. So yeah, it looks like he wanted to stamp his authority there. Now probably he will be included in the team more often than not. Interestingly, he's one of the guys, very few guys, who has scored century in all three formats for Australia now. So so maybe he's saying that, guys, I'm here to stay. So definitely he will be looked upon as one of the regulars now. And of course, then Alex Carey followed and scored a brilliant 69 or 63, and Glenn Maxwell after that, a quick fire 32. So all in all, what we saw was initially a couple of wickets fell, but then all other players came in and contributed, and one of them went on to score 120 batting around with the other players. So coming into this tournament, we talked about how media was talking about like a makeshift team, but looking at this performance, it doesn't look like it's a makeshift team. I'm not sure the regulars of Australia team would have produced any better performance than this, because this is the top class performance. Chase 356, just losing 5 wickets in under 48 overs. So that is a brilliant performance. This team cannot be taken lightly, and this team is not a makeshift team.
No, 100% right. And Josh English, yeah, he's been around. There's a lot of conversations around him, like how good he is, and obviously, they were actually counting him in the BGT as well. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to probably feature in the playing 11, but for him to come out and obviously stamp his authority today means massive for Australian cricket going forward, and to have someone like him in the middle to sort of counter attack and also at the same time play those long innings. He sort of held the innings on one end and helped Australia sort of chase down the target. So yeah, massive from Australia's standpoint, and most importantly the 2 points. Like we said, it's very important to get the 2 points and sort of move forward. From bowling standpoint, nothing massive. Also, Mark Wood 9.3 overs, 75 runs for a wicket. Jofra Archer struggled again. His struggle seems to continue since his India series as well. 10 overs, 82 runs he conceded. Braden Kasi, 7 overs, 69. Adil Rashid was the quick of the bowlers, 10 overs, 47. We know how good he is in the middle overs. And contribution from Livingston as well, 7 overs, 47 runs, 1 wicket. But just sort of looking at the bowling, right, and one of the things I want to point out, Mark Wood, he consistently maintained that 150 pace in today's innings, which was massive for England, and obviously in the Pakistan conditions where the ball's not swinging, that sort of does create some doubt in the batsman's mind. But would you be concerned, you have that sort of pace, but then you're not able to do much with it? All you're doing is probably helping the batsman score easily with using the bowler space rather than really getting anything out of the pitch. And Jofra Archer is absolutely a concern if I'm England. That's like the T20 series where he struggled against India. The ODIs didn't really work out well for him. And now coming back into this Champions Trophy in the first game, you conceded like 80 runs. And some big shots were played against him.
Yeah, I mean, with any kind of consistent line and length and speed, it is a problem these days, because it doesn't matter if you're bowling 90 miles an hour every single ball,
Mhm.
or you're bowling 120 miles an hour every single ball, because batsmen in these days, they feed off these consistencies. It's all about surprising the batsman. If the batsman already pre-guesses you that this is what you're gonna bowl, then you're gonna get hit straight away. So even though Mark Wood was bowling 90 miles above 90 every single ball, I think he only bowled like one ball or two balls in the entire innings, which was less than 90 miles an hour, and that is staggering. But then again, we saw that he was only bowled 9.3, three balls less than his full quota of 10 overs, and he gave away 75 runs. That's also not saying that he bowled really badly, but Australian batsmen were able to play him. That's they were able to make premeditate and play shots against him. We saw English hit him for sixes. And even if he doesn't want to hit for sixes, he can just nudge the ball with this speed. And the outfield are very fast there. They will go quickly to the boundary. So I mean, they have to bring in some kind of variations there. Of course, playing that speed is not easy, but if you are consistently doing that and not bringing any other variations, then it really becomes difficult to contain runs, really. And I mean, that's the approach Brendan McCullum and Joss Butler have gone with, but it hasn't helped in India, and it's not helping here as well.
Yeah, absolutely right. Obviously, looking into the future, England plays Afghanistan next, and then obviously Australia has South Africa. South Africa, Australia now have 2 points in the bank. It's an important game for either teams to sort of get that extra win and sort of secure their position to sort of go into the next stage. But for England, it's equally important to sort of win against Afghanistan and also win big, because obviously run rates can be crucial as well as the series sort of moves into the next level.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think either of the teams are going to make changes going into the next match. But it'll be interesting to see, because Australia now they have proved that this team is doing really well, going to do well because of from this match, because this is the highest. I think this is the highest run chase for
Champions Trophy, maybe. Yes.
Champions Trophy, and they were able to pull this off relatively easily. So players going from this match to the other match, they will have lots of confidence. I mean, they will probably have had a little bit of whatever doubts people had in their mind. They must have gone away. So the other teams will also not make that mistake of taking them lightly. Um, and on the other hand, South Africa, they will be also going to the other match with confidence. So this tournament is shaping well. I mean, we'll have to see tomorrow's match as well, what is happening, because if India wins, then in the other group it becomes relatively easier to guess who's going to go ahead.
Yeah.
So next phase is really
I
interesting.
think round 2 games are critical in terms of whether you still make the semis. But yes, big game coming up tomorrow for our viewers. India Pakistan. Obviously, it comes with its own history, and it's a lot of interest that this game generates. And from Pakistan standpoint, obviously, they're sort of moving locations as well. Being the host nation, they'll have to sort of travel to Dubai, and obviously, play India there. But again, familiar conditions. They've sort of played in those conditions for a long time, so it shouldn't be any different. But yeah, really looking forward to that game tomorrow. Going to be up early. The game starts at 3 a.m. my time. So yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Here is the
4
case of
a.m.
9 to 5. So match starts at 9 a.m. Yeah.
Can absolutely contribute a day, at least for the first few hours before day-to-day kicks in. So really looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you, Amar. It's been great connecting, and obviously, as we sort of move into round 2 of this Champions Trophy, sort of look to see how things unfold and which 4 teams sort of make the semis. But as we progress into the round 2 starting tomorrow, maybe it's a good opportunity for me to now get your 4 semi-finalists. Who do you think is going to make from Group A, and who are the 2 teams from Group A?
Yeah, of course, I think India and New Zealand are going through in India's group and New Zealand's group. Is that Group A or Group B?
That's Group A, yes.
Group A, okay. So yeah, India and New Zealand. From the other side, I think it has to be
Australia,
South Africa.
South Africa, England, and Afghanistan are the 4 teams.
Yeah, I mean, Australia has to be there. We can't discount that. They will make it to the semis anyhow. I'm thinking it's South Africa than England, because South Africa, I mean, they look like more rounded team with all points covered. I don't think England has everything covered, and there's some performances where I would kind of question their place in this team as well. So I don't think they have taken the right approach as well. So yeah, I would say South Africa and Australia.
Perfect. Let's see how things unfold. But thank you for your time.
What about? No, but you have to tell
thing.
me your semi-finals as well.
I mean, I sort of agree with you. I think New Zealand and India's going to make from a Group A, and then Australia, South Africa from a Group B. It'll probably require a miracle from England to really progress, unless they sort of really put a really good performance against Afghanistan, and also sort of follow up with a game against South Africa. I can't really see them sort of progressing to the next stage.
Cool. Will be interesting to see.
Yep. For viewers, again, like we always say, our thoughts. We like to share our opinions. Obviously, any feedback is always appreciated. And we, as the games unfold, there'll be more and more casts, and obviously, we'll definitely cover a big game tomorrow, India Pakistan, and sort of looking forward to this game, and hopefully, both teams put up a good show for the millions of viewers across the world who would like to tune in for this game tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks, Amar.
Thanks. See you.
Everyone, cheers. Bye.